Hey, what's up? This is Matt from GoTherics, and this today is going to be the barbell deadlift. So in this video, I want to go over our setup. I want to go over why we set up the way we do, and I want to make sure that you understand how to best pull from the floor, as well as do some adaptations like a barbell RDL, which is often a part of our programming. So first of all, we're going to start out. We have a powerlifting barbell, which is better for a powerlifting style deadlift, a conventional deadlift like most people are going to be doing. If we were going to be doing a clean deadlift, specifically for adapting into learning a clean or a clean and jerk, or even the snatch, we would be using an Olympic style barbell that is going to have bearings so that the sleeves can rotate a lot more than the bushings on this one. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. We just have an Ohio Echo bar here. We have an Ohio Power bar at my house, but that type of bar is great for doing deadlift. Now, with this, what we are going to do is we're first going to put on some weights that are going to lift that bar up. We like to use these blocks for people who are not quite ready to put anything onto the bar. But you want to try to put the 45s, 25s, 10s, something that's going to lift it up and is going to give it that height, so it's that natural height kind of hitting your shin. The unfortunate thing about barbell deadlift is that these weights are going to be the same diameter as long as you get Olympic size plates. They're going to be the same diameter for all of them, which means that no matter how tall you are, it's going to be the same height off the floor, but that's going to make it uniform for us. Now, if you get really, really cheap plates like I have before, out of somewhere like a sporting goods store and so on, really cheap iron plates, they may not have that diameter. So do be aware that you need to make sure that the diameter of your plate is the natural diameter if you're going to be comparing yourself versus your lift versus someone else's lift. Because if the diameter of the plate is smaller, so like if we put one of our 5s on like this, or we put another one of our plates as well, that's our iron plates that don't have the same diameter, then what that's going to do is that's going to bring the bar closer down, and it's going to make the lift harder. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but if you're comparing your weight versus someone else's, that lower bar is going to be harder to pull from, and you need to keep that in mind. The setup especially is going to be a lot harder. So, all right, let's jump in. With the barbell setup, we like to use a barbell setup we got from Starting Strength, and it's quite simple. We're going to have the bar in front of us. We're going to step to the bar where our feet are going to be underneath our hips to our shoulders. I like to put my heels just underneath my hips, and my toes are going to be turned out 5 to 10 degrees. Not a big turn and not straight ahead, but out just a little bit. Okay, I keep them fairly narrow because that's going to help my hips stay close to the bar and make me stronger in this lift. But you can go a little bit wider as you like. The wider you go, the wider that your hands are going to have to be when you go to lift the bar. So we want to be aware of that. So right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my feet inside of the knurling of the bar. I've got my weight on my heels. I'm going to engage my core to do this lift. Now, first thing, shins 1 inch from the bar. Check. Now, I'm going to reach over, I'm going to bend to grab the bar. I like to put my knuckles underneath and then wrap them back around. Now, I noticed how far, about 2 inches, that I have my hand from the knurling start there. I will do the same here. And now I've got those hands nicely wrapped around the bar. I'm going to bring my chest through, flattening my back. At that same time, you're hearing the clicking sound of the bar as the weight comes out of the bar. And then the last thing I do is I bring those shoulders back down, turning like this, like I'm going to turn and curl the bar, and then I drive through my feet and bring my hips to the bar, and then I reverse that on the way down. Notice on the way down, my knees didn't shoot out, and I didn't have to go around them. I brought the weight down my thighs, and then was able to bring it down without bringing my knees forward. So, barbell deadlift. Once again, second, we're going to step 2, 1 inch from the bar. Feet about shoulder width, toes pointed out 5 to 10 degrees. We are going to wrap our hand underneath the bar to get a better double overhand grip. We're going to make sure it's deep in there. It's equidistant from one part of the knurling to my hands. I'm going to drive my chest through, straightening my back, adding tension. Last thing I'm gonna do, bring my shoulders down, get my lats tight, push through my feet, drive my hips to the bar, and then reverse that back down. Again, notice knees are back, and then we come down. That's the barbell deadlift. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks.